Wow, that is just so beautiful. How lucky are we? Well, good evening. It's just gone about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it is dark as dark out tonight. So we just had a quick meal, and Darren's gone down for a snooze. So I'm on watch until about 9 o'clock. We do 3 on 3 off. So every 3 hours we swap out. Someone tries to go and get some sleep and the other one's on watch. So it's Darren's turn for sleep at the moment. And yeah, it's we are motoring. We've been motoring most of the afternoon, unfortunately. It's been okay actually. There's been no breeze whatsoever. The high is right over us at the moment, and then it will pass over us tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, and then I think we expect the breeze will kick back in again. Yeah, so I had a funny moment before actually. Venus, I don't know if any of you have ever seen Venus, but she's a very lovely, glowing, bright light, and she's a planet, sort of an orangey hue, and which often to me looks like a ship's light. Anyway, Venus was rising, and I thought, oh, ship. But no, it was actually Venus, which is really nice. She's guiding our way. Well, hello, just checking in with you. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and I'm about halfway through my shift. And yeah, it is a beautiful evening. We have been blessed with perfect conditions. There is almost no swell, and we've got winds in the north, about sort of 15 knots. It's primo, so yeah, we've just got a double reef main and the headsail out, and we're travelling along at about 7 knots on a bearing of about 070, so we are heading directly for New Caledonia. And yeah, it's primo. A little earlier on you could see the stars in the sky just look terrific. I don't know how many stars there are on this planet. Do you know how many stars there are on this planet? I'd be curious to know. The whole sky is just filled. It's just beautiful. Morning, my honey.
Morning. You ready for a watch?
I'm ready.
Okay, fantastic. I'm ready to go to bed.
I'm not quite ready. Looks like a nice day.
Yeah, a bit more cloud cover, and the swell's gotten bigger, but...
Swell's gotten bigger, something's coming. It's a nice pretty sky though.
Yeah, well, if it stays like this for the next few days, we'll be laughing.
I do want it. Ooh. Okay, my love. I'll just go clean my teeth and I'll be ready.
Rightio.
Good morning, everyone. Day 3. Check out the sunrise.
Sun rises behind her eyes, but she still can't see it. She beside me, I walk slowly. It feeds my soul all the gold I could need. This whole time I've been searching for the wrong thing. She's my cat, she's the sea, she's the sun on my back.
Cheers!
She's my cat.
Got myself a nice watermelon and pawpaw smoothie.
She's the sun on my back.
Way to go. Well, it's a glorious morning this morning. We're hiking along at about 7 knots, and we've got the wind from the northwest, which is actually making a really nice ride for us. We've got some big swells coming from behind. They're starting to build up a little bit, so that's alright. We're trucking along nicely. And in about sort of maybe another 100 miles, we've got a big seamount coming, so we're going to see where we're placed for that, because the sea level rises from depths of thousands to about 400, so we don't want to go. It'll be quite humped up there, or could possibly be quite humped up there, and if the winds do strengthen, we do want to avoid that area. So we're just watching that one this morning, but we'll watch it during the course of the day and see where this breeze takes us in relation to that. So we might have to duck down and go around it, because even though it's sort of 400 meters deep, when it comes from several thousand to 400, the waves can hump up quite a bit, and if we've got strong wind and swell behind us, it could get quite mucky. So one to avoid. Oh, that's so good. Feeling quite well rested. We had quite a relaxing, chill night last night, so managed to get some good sleep. Anyway, I'm going to download the weather in a minute and enjoy my morning smoothie.
Found my heart in my mind, fighting for my ball. And I'll never have to break the cold.
I'll be back.
She's the kind you only find in a story. I've never had anybody fight for me.
Okay, I made this lovely pumpkin soup the other day, and I can't be bothered getting the vacuum sealer out to make up a proper vacuum sealing package because I'm going to put this in the freezer. So this is my soup. I'm going to show you my vacuum sealing technique 101 for lazy people like me. Okay. Mate. Primo! Vacuum sealed! Woohoo!
You're a big sucker.
Right, go. You love that, didn't you? It's the simple things that amuse us on the average day at sea.
She's my captain, she's the sea, she's the sun on my back.
So we are having an absolutely corker day. It is just beautiful out here today. I was just trying to film for you guys the ocean swell, because the ocean swell is around about 2.5 meters at the moment, and it's a really lovely long swell, and it gives us a really nice smooth ride over them. Sarean's traveling over them really nicely, but yeah, some of them look quite daunting to the eye, and I was trying to capture them for you, but the camera just doesn't do it justice, unfortunately. You just have to take my word for it. Yeah, but yeah, we're traveling along lovely. It's just gone midday. I think Darren's down having another little catch-up sleep, and I'm going to go down fairly shortly because I'm lagging behind. But I just wanted to talk to you about charting. A few of you have asked us questions about what charts we use, and we use Navigational and CMAP and OpenCPN, a mix of depending on which area we are in. And we use a couple of other charting software for imagery, but I'll talk to you about that in another time, because when it's more appropriate. So yes, so we're running Navigational at the moment, and if you don't know, like a chart is basically like a roadmap for the ocean, and we're running electronic charts, and they will plot us with a GPS fix as to where we are on the planet. So that's a really basic overview. And yeah, the one thing that I did want to talk to you about, if you are planning on doing ocean passages, something that's quite important. I mean, out here on the ocean, you think there wouldn't be anything to hit, you think there wouldn't be anything that would give you any trouble, because there's, you know, Australia in that direction and Noumea in that direction and not much in between. And actually that's quite wrong. If you zoom in really closely on the chart, you'll come across areas called seamounts or table mounts, and they're basically areas where the ocean, at the moment we might be cruising over the ocean where the depth is 10 or 20,000 metres, and then a seamount, the depth will come up to 1,000 or 2,000 or even 400 or even 40 metres. And so if you can imagine, there's all this water passing across the top of it and moving around this seamount, and there's going to be an area of quite current, and area where the waves or the ocean might push up because it's sort of moving around something. I hope that makes sense. So that is something to watch out for. And there have been sadly some incidences that we've seen in the last couple of years of people riding up on reefs, and it did come out from one fellow. He said that he didn't have his chart zoomed in enough. He just presumed that there was clear water underneath him, and unfortunately they lost their boat. So I wanted to talk to you about this because it is really important, and it's how you have your zoom set, and I'll show you on the chart. Okay, so you'll just have to excuse the rock and roll. Actually, I might just grab my glasses because I can't see. Okay, first rule of navigation is wear your glasses. Rightio, so this is a chart, an example of a chart. That's Australia and Brisbane, where we've just departed from, and I'm running a rum line that goes straight to Noumea in New Caledonia. So that basically tells me in a straight line where I'm going, where I'm aiming. And you can see that this is us plotted there, Sarean, and we are about almost a third of the way across. So that's pretty good. We're doing pretty well. Sideswiped by a wave. Rightio, so you'll see that that's a fairly good overview, but it's not a zoom level that you want to be zoomed in on for safety purposes. And if you just see down here, that says 200 nautical miles. So it shows you that you're quite far zoomed out. Now if I zoom in on this map, you'll see we're down to 50 nautical miles, and you'll see that little lines and intonations are starting to show up. These could be reefs or seamounts like I was talking about. So when we're going out on the Great Barrier Reef, or we're looking for a reef to snorkel or dive, we actually look for these areas because if it's a certain type of area, it will actually have fish there, and it can prove to be really interesting diving. But for the purposes of this discussion, this is called a seamount, and I'll just show you. Now that all looks relatively normal, but if I zoom in, you see the definition gets clearer and clearer as we go. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's actually 46 metres. So you would probably look at that and go, oh yeah, that's got a 2,000 metre line around it, I'll be okay. But when you zoom in, it comes into 40 metres in this area, which is just no good, especially if the winds are strong, and it can hump up and be quite uncomfortable. So we're keeping an eye on this, and what we're going to do is sail right between the two, not coming anywhere near this because that's 40 metres. But this area here is around about 2,000, and we feel if we come through tonight before the heavy winds come in, it should be reasonably okay to passage through here. Yes, I hope that proved quite interesting for you guys. I hope you understood what I was talking about. That made sense. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions. I'll answer them, or if that didn't make sense at all. And yeah, so yeah, just quite important to have that zoom set in the right place, just to avoid bumping into anything or coming across some really uncomfortable areas of ocean when you can easily avoid them. Yeah, so just drop me a comment if you have any questions, and let me know what charting software you're using. If there's anything out there that's really unique and cool that we should get our hands on. Rightio, so I think I'm going to go and download the weather. I think our next weather update is due. and we'll be able to see what's in store for us for the next 12 to 24 hours. So I'll go and get that sorted out.
She's my captain, she's the sea, she's the sun on my back.